Hi, I'm Renee Devereaux with the Club for Creative Expression, and today's segment is about brain and body regeneration. The purpose of the club is to provide a platform from which people can express their creativity, where ideas can flourish, and look at what's happening with the dance world through the Club for Creative Expression. One member came up with a wonderful idea, and we had a huge success in July. It was a beautiful event, and now we're evolving into dance workshops and other events in the following months. So I've discovered along the way that those ideas don't flourish very readily when health and vitality are missing. So aging oftentimes is seen as equals or equal to degeneration. I don't believe that. I believe that we can be proactive and take charge of our health and vitality. And I've been providing seminars, classes, and through this show, information about different regenerative therapies. And today I have the pleasure of introducing to you Dr. Susan Christopher, a village resident who has a BA in education and a master's and PhD in psychology. I've known Susan for many years and have always marveled at her resilience, and that no matter what challenge she was dealing with, she always seemed to rise above it. So I consider her a master in creative expression and self-healing. She has written 2 books, has now started her 3rd, and she has always been active. But don't think that it's, that she hasn't met challenges. So welcome, I'm delighted to have you here.
Nice to be here, thank you.
And so I know that I did introduce you as a master of creative expression and self-healing. So please tell us what drove you into researching ways of healing yourself, because that's not the normal way that people go.
Well, first of all, I don't research. I have what I call my soul family. And this is the inner voice that everyone has. It's the still small voice that everyone talks about. I like to call it God.
There you are.
And that's actually what it's been announced as. So, and everyone has this line, and if they, to this direct connection with God, if they would just open themselves to the possibility of it. And probably 8 months ago, I had such a bad back that it was so bad that one day I was in such pain I thought, I'm going to kill myself. I can't stand this kind of pain. And then I said, no, I'm not going to do that. And I said, I'm going to heal this. I'm going to heal this. And I put my energy into it. I spoke in what I call God's voice. God's voice creates things.
Correct.
And it doesn't mamby-pamby about, oh dear God, please give me this. It's like, demand it, command it. And so I said, I want to heal myself right now. And if you don't heal me, this is what I'm going to do. So if you want me to be on this earth, please heal me.
So it was a defining moment for you, the pain.
Yes, yeah.
And had you been diagnosed? Had you been told as to what resources were available to you through this
let
pain?
me just give you a background on that.
Oh, please do. because I know a lot of people will be able to relate to the pain and to what you have to say about it.
First of all, I was born with severe spinal stenosis. And I also have what they call caudal equina syndrome, which is that the back is so bad it's sitting on all the nerves at the bottom part of your abdomen. And I also have 2 ruined discs. And forgot what you call it, a cyst on my spinal cord.
Uh-huh.
So that was what was working on me to cause all the pain. And then I decided, well, I'll just see what our wonderful medical profession can do. And so I went to the best surgeon I could find in the insurance thing, which of course isn't the best surgeon I could find, but anyway. And she said, well, I'll tell you what we would have to do. We would have to get cadaver bones.
Wow.
And that's for starters. And then she said, and then there'd probably be 2 blood transfusions. And you'd probably be on the table for 2 to 3 hours. Mm-hmm. And then there'd be no guarantee that it wouldn't get worse. Mm-hmm. And she reached out and she said, I think it's too late for you.
Oh, that's always a promising.
Thank you for sharing, you know. But anyway, so
wow.
That was what I was faced with. Mm-hmm. And it was so unstable that she said any moment your back could shift and you would become totally paralyzed. So I said, okay. So I went home and I said, okay, God, we either heal this or I'm out of here. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do something because I can't do this anymore. Right. And the next morning I woke up and I had no pain. And I still haven't got it 8 to 9 months later. Mm-hmm. So the back hasn't changed. I've still got all the bumps down here and everything else, but there's simply no pain because pain is in your mind.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that connection that you made, which is what I call intuition, your higher self, your inner guidance, that we all have, and very seldom,
everyone
and never go to it.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
that's our, we've never been trained, we've never been taught that we have this resource.
But we've actually been programmed that everything valuable is outside of ourselves.
Correct.
So nobody looks for God inside, nobody looks for creativity inside, nobody looks for comfort inside, nobody goes in here, and that's where it is.
Correct.
It's all there. It's not out here.
And so tell us about the belief systems that you have encountered, because I know that you have taught and you have had classes and you've done many things.
Well, for 40 years.
For 40 years, I know.
Yeah.
And consequently, your application of the principles, you know, you've had specific instruction in dealing with the mind in order to overcome that, remember what we said, belief system or BS?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, everybody has a belief system. Mm-hmm. And it's their challenge in life to get over that and to find out what works for them. And you can't find out what works for them if you're stuck in a belief system that tells you every 5 minutes that you can't do that. And so our society teaches us that we're idiots, that we can't do anything by ourselves. We have to go to our government to get help, and that's been certainly a splendid experience. And we have to go to our doctors because God knows we can't heal ourselves. And how many people are healed by doctors?
None that I know of.
We have a lot of incurable diseases, and see, that to me is a program. That is a belief system that something is incurable. Because I have cured this without doing anything to the body, just doing something with the mind. You see what I'm saying?
Well, what is amazing to me, Susan, is that over the years, and I've known Susan for many, you have encountered the challenges, you have endured the pain, and now as
85.
Okay, I wasn't going to say it since you're
I'm proud of it. I got this far. I'm really pretty excited about it. Yeah.
It is outstanding because I see you thriving. I see you radiating more health and vitality than I had for many years.
Yes.
Because again,
I am literally going backwards. I'm not aging. I'm going backwards. I'm younger than I was when I was 80.
Definitely.
And my whole body is. So, but the other thing is you also have to feed your body right. And
Thank you for bringing that up.
Feed your body right, your body can't work. It's like a car. If you took a Mercedes and you put sand in the gas, it wouldn't work. And that's what we do all the time by
Correct.
eating all this crunchy
Yes.
food we eat.
And so it's,
And I eat no cooked food except eggs.
yes, and I do want to point out, though, that this wasn't always the case with you. It's been a long journey that
Oh,
you've
yeah.
made some changes.
Yeah, oh,
and
yeah.
because I remember your habits weren't always the best.
Well, I
So
ate
it's
like
been-
everybody else. you know.
Exactly,
I ate,
exactly.
I cooked all my food. I ate meat. I ate, sugar and
Correct.
all the stuff that is just absolutely. Cancer comes from sugar. That's where it comes from.
That's where it comes from.
So get rid of the sugar, you get rid of your cancer.
And so you did a lot of investigating as far as the nutrition, and then again listening to that inner guidance
Exactly.
to teach you what direction to go as far as nourishing your body.
Yes,
See,
exactly.
because you and I are in accord as to the body being this amazing
thing,
tool.
but we just treat it like it's trash.
Exactly. We demand it to perform in a certain way, and yet we feed it garbage.
Yeah.
We don't exercise it. We just drag it along, making demands from it, when actually it is to be treasured
Yeah, exactly.
and fed correctly. So you started making changes, dramatic changes in your diet, let's say, how long ago, Susan?
Well, I started on the raw diet about 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah, and that is the hardest thing in the world to do because you have eaten cooked food all your life. But once you make the change and you eat raw food for a while, you can't eat cooked food. It's dead.
It's dead.
Because anything you heat above 115 degrees kills all the enzymes in the food. And the enzymes are what make you regenerate and keep you young.
Exactly.
So all these old people that are walking around looking like they're about ready to die, they don't have anything going for them to regenerate themselves. They're eating
Exactly.
dead food, they're not moving, they're thinking negative thoughts, they're not thinking for themselves, they're letting the government and schools and things like that tell them how to think.
Society itself.
Society itself is poisonous. I really believe that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And it's changing now, and that's wonderful. We're in a
Correct. But
wonderful time right now.
yes, it is, because we can
people
revitalize.
are waking up.
At last.
Yeah,
At
exactly.
last. And this is why I decided to do this show, because I felt that people are ready to hear in a different manner, that it isn't just about turning over your sovereignty to someone else, to let
Yeah.
somebody else decide what's good for you. That more and more people are investigating what can they do to help.
Well, if you think about it, think about the TB. How many times do you hear, ask your doctor?
Oh,
In other words, the implied thing is that you can't fix your body. Well, who knows your body better than you do?
precisely.
So, and I've also, now since I've healed my back, I've also healed 3 other things. So,
Oh, tell us about that.
yeah, well, I had a problem with the colon because of the back, and a problem with the bladder because of the back, and I healed both of those. And I have macular degeneration and optic neuropathy. So I can't drive. I drive a golf cart. And slowly but surely, my eyes are getting better.
You can see better
Yeah,
than
see better
you
than
were.
I could before.
And so you attribute this to what I've understood so far is definitely the food that you're eating, but also a mindset,
I think that's the big one.
the big one.
Yeah, the mindset is everything. How you conceive of life. Do you look at yourself like you're magical? See, magic is the answer. And we don't have any magic in our lives.
Well, we're not supposed to even
Like
allude
magic,
to it.
you know,
Exactly,
yeah.
because
So-
it's, yeah.
So I really believe in magic. And so because I believe in magic, I make magic. I lost half my income 2 years ago. And I thought, how am I going to do this? And I manifest everything I need. I need something, the next day I go, like for instance, I had to get a table and chairs for my patio. And I said, okay, I'm going to be magic now. I want a white wrought iron table and chairs, and with a heart motif, and red pillows. Well, so the next day, my friend and I went into the store, and there it was, the white wrought iron with the heart motif and the red pillows.
And was it affordable?
And it was on sale.
All right.
For like a fourth of the cost, you know. It was just a ridiculous buy. And the reason was most people don't like red pillows, I guess.
Whatever.
Lucky me, I love
Whatever.
red.
We love red.
Yeah, so anyway. But, so I've been manifesting things like money and clothes, and everything I need comes to me. And because I believe it will. Because usually people lose their money and they go, oh my God, help, 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 and they roll up in a ball and they give up. You know?
Exactly.
And it's like, but I thought, this is an adventure. I'm going to use my magic to make this work. And they did. And now I have money left over at the end of the month.
That's hysterical.
You know? So anyway, and then the other thing is moving your body, of course. I do power walking every day, which is like this with weights and this and this. And yeah, I look like a crazy person. My daughter said, you don't walk like that on the street, do you?
And yes, you do.
Yes,
I've seen you.
Yeah.
But you also do yoga.
And I also do yoga, yoga. I have this little routine that I do, that if my back ever feels a little shaky, I get down on the floor and, you know, do this. It's like, and you just have to have fun with life. that's the,
Well,
you know,
that's-
like
and
believe
this-
in magic and you will have it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. No, you've been an inspiration to me, and so I appreciate our connection and our friendship, because I've seen you revitalize yourself. I see you now at 85 becoming, or staying, actually becoming even more vital than I've known you to be. You do things that I know a lot of people are amazed, you know, because that was just a mild example of what of what you can do.
Yeah.
So this is the inspiration that, you know, through the club and through all of my activities, I want to inspire people with, that your age is irrelevant.
No, it has nothing to do with
It's up here.
anything.
It's your...
And the other thing is I'm getting smarter.
Yes, I've
I
noticed
decided,
that too.
okay, I'm not going to be stupid. Like, you have to get stupid when you're old. Well, you don't.
You don't.
And you don't have to forget stuff either if you put the right systems in. And
Exactly.
so I'm troubleshooting my computer now, and I used to be terrified of my computer. And
Yes, I remember. You used to freak out.
One thing after another is going wrong, and I'm going hysterical. And when you're trying to write a book, it really drives you crazy when it keeps going down all the time. Well, now it doesn't do that anymore, you know. And
would you say that part of the reason that it doesn't break down as often is because you've also overcome?
it doesn't scare me anymore.
It doesn't scare
It's
you.
no longer a challenge.
Correct.
You know what I
Correct.
mean? So when you have challenges and you meet the challenges, you don't have to have them anymore. That's the beautiful. Slowly but surely, you move these challenges out of your life, and the magic takes the place.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is really an important point, Susan. And I know that it's so really important for everyone to hear that those challenges are there to teach us something.
Yes.
And when we overcome, or when we can meet the challenge with the right frame of mind, then those challenges will actually disappear.
Yeah, and they become like gifts in a way.
Yes,
know?
they
Yeah.
do. Yes, they do. And those challenges can come in the form of a person in our lives that is causing us distress, or
That's a good point, because nobody causes you distress.
Exactly.
I look at it this way, and this is what my soul family tells me, that everybody in your life you have a contract with. And you've made this contract, your soul has made this contract before you've come into this life. And so everyone you meet that does you wrong, you signed up there for them to do that.
Yes.
And sometimes these are people who love you the most. And
Yes.
they have to do this to you, to help you. And it was very hard for them to do that.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
so all the people that did you wrong, you asked them to do this.
And this is.
And they did it for you, and you should not forgive them. You should bless them, because forgiveness is out of date. There is no such thing as
There is no
forgiveness.
such thing.
There is only learning the lesson that you created that for.
And
that's forgiveness.
And
you see?
that
Yeah.
is, again, the valuable lesson, that the situation, and whether it is a person or an illness or whatever we don't like or whatever we may judge as a problem, it's actually something for us to meet and overcome. And then when we do, with the proper frame of mind, things tend to disappear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
And
every single thing in your life is for you.
Exactly.
It's for you. It's not against
Exactly.
you.
And so,
And everything, even in this crazy world, because we're finally waking up to the fact that we have a broken system. And thank God we're waking up finally.
Yes.
You know, I mean, before we just destroy everything.
yes, and it is an evolutionary process
Yeah,
that we've
exactly.
been undergoing.
Yeah.
And then again, we are here to evolve as souls.
Yes.
We are here to learn to make that connection with the higher intelligence that is available to one and all,
Yeah.
and stop relying and start to question. Start to question those belief systems. I think that's really vital, because
Well, the belief systems consider the initials BS.
exactly.
Yeah, so and whatever belief system that you've been fed in school, in churches, in who knows where, you know, they just keep getting passed down.
Exactly.
And what has to, because nobody challenges them.
Nobody
And
challenges
so
them.
finally
Nobody,
people are starting to wake up and thinking, you know, that doesn't work for me.
that doesn't work. Maybe,
Yeah.
you know, and I love this transformation that is occurring. And I would like to, well, I have this quote that I think is just so valuable, because there's social and childhood programming, and those have created habits of perception and behavior. And so those habits become self-reinforcing, and again, that self-fulfilling prophecy. So if we look at experiences that shape our perceptions, and those perceptions create beliefs, and those beliefs reinforce the perception. So we're in this vicious cycle. And then perception shapes experience, because if that's what we believe, that's what's
Everything's
going
up
to
here, yeah.
Exactly, that's what we're going to create. And so that experience reinforces once again the belief. So this vicious treadmill, perceptions control behavior. So again, we can change that. We can reframe, we can recreate the way our lives turn out.
Exactly.
It is not an inevitable destiny that we have in front of us. We, at any time, have an option that we can choose what to believe. We can choose how we're going to, see life.
Well, let me
create
just
life.
say this. When I was healing, what you have to do is all your energy has to be positive on that subject.
Exactly.
And this is huge. It's like holding on to something now. And when I think about my back, I think about healing. I don't think about pain.
Exactly.
I don't put it in a box with pain. So
Right.
when I look at my back, or I look at some of the other things that I had wrong with me that aren't not wrong anymore, I have to constantly be grateful for what I have.
Exactly. And this,
And so whatever you put your energy into, you get more of.
and that is it. And
So think about when you're sick and, oh my God, my leg hurts, my back hurts, you know. And it's
moan
like,
and complain.
bleh.
But Susan-
And so,
Susan, so anyway, we're coming to the close
Okay.
of the segment, and I really want to thank you. I trust that if people have questions, please contact me. Susan is always available to answer questions. And in fact, I'm going to be offering a class in self-hypnosis for those who want a little assistance in changing their perceptions so that they can create a new life for themselves. The class will start in probably late September or beginning of October. Dr. Christopher, I appreciate your being here.
Well, it's been fun. Thank you.
It's been fun. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I want to remind everyone that I do hold classes, and at the end of September I am going to be holding a class on self-hypnosis for those who would like a little assistance on changing belief systems, letting go of old habits, and creating a new life. Thank you so much.